While he's putting that up, this evening, what we would like to do, Mrs. Botnara and I, would like to present to the Board of Education very quickly the second interim financial report. And it has already been explained by Mr. Jessup that we are only required to do 2 interim reports per year. However, we in Banning Unified School District, we prepare 3. We prepare a 3rd interim report, which we submit to the board as information only. And the reason why we do that is because we want to be very, very close to our ending projection. But one of the things that I want to share, Mac, if you can go to our assumptions on page 4, so that everybody can see that. In preparing any type of budget or interim reports, you must have a set of assumptions by which you're going to work with. And what we've done, we've pretty much used what School Services of California has recommended at the governor's workshop that we attended, I believe it was back in January. I do want to point out that we're using the same base revenue limit, not only for this year, but for the next 2 years. We're using a deficit factor, which is not the one that's in the current school services handout that they've given to us. And one of the other things that we've done is that we've taken the $370 trigger as if it's going to happen, which is going to take our base revenue limit down to $4,814.10. One thing I want you to recognize is that we should be getting $6,529.26, but that is not the case because the state cannot afford to meet their financial obligations, so therefore they reduce what school districts are receiving, and Mr. Jessup spoke about that this evening as well. If you would notice our enrollment is for this year 4,538 that we're using. For 12-13, 4,000, we're going down about 80 students, about 4,438, and we're going down about 50 students, the 13-14 to about 4,388. Our cost of living adjustment for this year, we're flat funding. If you notice, we did not budget a cost of living adjustment for 12-13 or 13-14. And the reason why, even though School Services of California has a cost of living adjustment, is taken away by the deficit factor that they place on school districts. And based on the recommendation from the Riverside County Office of Education, we didn't even budget a COLA at all. And that's why you see 0. Now, when we do the 3rd interim report, these assumptions may be different because we may have different information. And as we receive that information, we will give it on to the board. Mrs. Bucknotter? Matt, could you go to page 5?
Again, as we move forward into the multi-year projections, which are the concerns for the district at this time, for both 12-13 and 13-14, any step adjustment that any employee is entitled to is in the budget. Other than that, the salaries and the number of people remain the same. The groups, the BTA bargaining unit and management and confidential who experienced furlough days in the current year had those days restored in 12-13 and 13-14. The fixed benefits, those things over and above salaries, besides health benefits, which are retirement, unemployment, Social Security, workers' compensation, and Medicare, are the same as they were in the current year, because we know and do not know at this time any increases, although I would expect to see some changes to the unemployment rate and workers' compensation. Health benefits have been returned to the current cap language in the bargaining unit agreements of $99.44 per full-time equivalent. For our utilities, we have projected the current CPI that is in the school services document, the dartboard, for increases to those items. For the athletic facilities, we are setting aside $100,000 in each of the 2 subsequent years to build a reserve to position ourselves to replace some of those things in those facilities that will age and require replacing: the turf, the surface that's on the track, and things of that nature. We've built that beautiful facility and we can't just let it disintegrate. We need to make